Welcome to Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Jim Hill.
Our guest producer says that if you have a desire in your heart, you should pursue it. And she's doing exactly that by starting a gospel venue.
Really?
And she did that this past week. And I'd like to welcome to Producer Profile, Christine Pettway.
Shalom. It's a blessing to be here.
Wow. So what happened? I mean,
well, I'm an artist.
Okay.
A performance artist. I've also was exposed to fine art all my life in several languages. My father spoke Arabic, Swahili, he knew a little Greek. He sat in front of the television and did hieroglyphics. So I was very open as a child to learning many different talents and things, although my parents actually encouraged me to be a teacher. Which is maybe a little typical of parents. They want the best for you. However, my heart's desire was to be an actress, and I moved from Detroit to New York. I pursued acting for a few years. I was disillusioned by the industry and by the sacrifices that you needed to make. And even before I was born again, I wasn't sure that I wanted to sell my soul for a movie deal. So I decided to back out of the industry for a couple of years and get to know who I was. I was in my mid-20s, and I really didn't know how far I would go and what I was willing to do. And I thought that was a bit strange to go into a situation and basically anything they say they want you to do, you might do it. So I said, this isn't right. So I backed out of the industry for a couple of years. And during those years, I found the Lord. And when I became born again, I said, okay, I don't know if God wants me to do this acting thing at all, and I'm just going to surrender my life to Him. And so I threw out all my headshots, I threw out my modeling pictures and tear sheets from small ads that I did, and even threw out a reel that I had from a commercial that I did, and everything. So I had nothing, as if I had never done one bit part. And
the purpose of that was so that you could start new and start fresh.
It was a cleansing. It was
clean yourself.
I didn't know if I would ever be involved in entertainment again, and I wanted to just be in full surrender. So I let everything go, and within less than 6 months, maybe even like 4 or 5 months, I started meeting people who were photographers that only did headshots, and I thought that was kind of strange because at work I never had met anyone that was a photographer that just did headshots. It was just sort of strange to me. So I was like, okay, Lord, are you saying something to me? But I didn't act on it. I was like, okay, I'm not going to get gung-ho on this. I'm just going to relax and see how things go. And months went past. I just happened to have lost a lot of weight during the time. And my sister started saying, go back to New York and start just modeling or doing something. And I was like, okay, Lord, I think this is you. I think I can slowly start moving back in this direction. So I started slowly moving in a direction. But as I started to grow in the Lord and everything, I withdrew from a lot of things I did before I was a Christian. I withdrew from a lot of films that I went to see. I withdrew from going to a lot of concerts that I used to go to. So it was a little bit lonely. And I was searching for something fun to do that wasn't contrary to my faith. And as I spoke to other Christians, especially a lot of young Christians under 35, they were having the same battle, especially Christians that were involved in any way in artistic anything artistic, from music to painting, writing. It was like they want to glorify God, but they just didn't want, and they wanted to do their talent at the same time. So it was like everybody had to sort of go and sort of back up, and everybody's sort of frozen, like, okay, I don't know what to do.
Right.
So just waiting for God. And me personally, I didn't even pray about it directly, I don't think. I just sort of had a desire. And I think sometimes God, as a father as He is, He just opens doors for you because He knows what your heart's desire is. So He's like, okay, I'm going to give you what you need because I see your desire. So I had a door open earlier this year where I got an email from a guy that worked at a church that I met last year on a whim at an ice cream shop. And he emailed me about a new theater group that was predominantly Christians, a Christians theater group. So I was like, wow, this would be a great way to hone my talents and be around people that believe in Jesus, you know, and not have to feel inhibited. If you say something about prayer, even sometimes people get a little weirded out, which I think is a little bizarre because there's like a, you know, palm reader on like every 5 corners, but if you say God or Jesus or prayer, people get like weird. But if you say what sign are you, people are, it's normal. And so it's like, okay, you know, this is somewhere I can fit in, that I can, you know, develop myself. So it sort of started there. I was like, wow, this is a blessing. I think God is answering our prayers, and I don't even know if we've been praying about this, because I know I didn't, but this is good. So during the same period of time, I began to speak to friends of mine because I wanted to, I was just getting ideas sort of floating around in my head. And the idea came to me, why isn't it a venue, a common venue, and a resource center for the Christians in the arts in New York, which is sort of a bizarre thing. You would think that they would have one, that we would have one, but there was none. So I said, you know, I want to create some sort of venue where Christians can express their talent and glorify God and make a living at what they're doing too, not just do it for fun, but be able to make a living, because we want to be able to quit our day jobs, you know. So I said, wow, this is a big idea, you know. I talked to my friends about it, and I said, okay, I don't know. So I said, wait a minute, I don't even know. This is just too big of an idea. Let me just chill. So I said, I'm not going to do anything. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait till God directs me on this one, because this is a lot, and I need a big theater or something to do all this good stuff. So I said, okay, and I sort of backed away. And a month or so later, I felt like the Lord was saying, well, I'm not giving you ideas to sit on them. I'm giving you ideas to act on them. So I said, okay, Lord, okay, what can I do? I don't want to, you know, go out there and not know what I'm doing. So I was familiar on how to incorporate and things of that nature, because I had set up a joint venture with my mom. We were developing Christian products. We started a business together doing that. So I was familiar with that. So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a website. And the second phase of the company or the venture was to be the showcasing. But somehow the website was not coming together. And it just got to a point where I was like, okay, Lord, you know, I feel like you're guiding me in this, but for some reason, this isn't happening at all. It's like I keep running to doors are shut. I mean, it just didn't make sense to me. I was promoting it and everything. Everybody I spoke to were like, wow, that's a wonderful idea. We need that, we need that, we need that. So I was like, great, but it wasn't happening. So I got to a point where I said, okay, Lord, I told these people that I was going to have this together by the summer, you know, because this is the spring when it all started, sort of blossomed. And I believe I was at my computer, and I just got to the point where I said, okay, Lord, and I literally pushed myself away from the computer, and I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing anything. You know, if I'm not doing what you want me to do, then let me not do it at all. You know, if it happens that I'm doing this on my own strength, I'm doing this for my own glory, then let me know, because I don't want to go any deeper. I don't want to get in trouble with you. Okay, I might as well. I've made mistakes before. I can take it if I'm wrong. So let me just not do it. And I felt like he spoke to me. He said, no, forget about the website. Do the showcase. Okay. And once I heard that voice inside of me, you know, a lot of people call it your gut. I call it God. Okay. And
it took off.
And when that happened, and as soon as that happened, things that I had in the past been able to do, for some reason, were blocked. I had talents that for some reason I couldn't penetrate the same doors that were open to me before.
Okay. We're going to come back to that. We're going to take a musical break.
Okay.
And for this musical break, we're going to hear Curtis Mayfield sing All Right. Okay. And he started his musical career singing with the R&B group The Impressions. Okay. And here he is doing It's All Right.
Curtis.
It's all right.
Have a good time, 'cause it's all right. Whoa, it's all right. We're gonna move it slow. When lights are low, when you move it slow, It sounds like a moan, and it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. Now listen to the beat. Kinda pats your feet. You got soul, and everybody knows that it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. When you wake up early in the morning, feeling sad like so many of us do, heart of the soul, make life feel cold, and surely something's gotta come to you. Then you wanna say it's alright. Tell me it's alright. It's alright. Have a good time, 'cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. Now everybody clap your hands. Give yourself a chance. You got soul, and everybody know that it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. Someday I'll find me a woman who will love and treat me real nice. Then my road's got to go, and my love she will know from morning, noon, and night. And then you wanna say it's alright. Tell me it's alright. It's alright. Have a good time, 'cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright. Now everybody clap your hands. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Come on, let me hear.
It is all right. We're here with Christine Pettway, and she has a new venture going on, and it's with gospel music.
Yes.
And it's just not gospel music, right?
not
Yeah,
just
it's
gospel.
for all artists that are Christian. Tell us, what is the format of the show?
The format of the show, basically we begin in prayer always, and just Thanksgiving. But we begin with a band. This month we showcase a gospel jazz band. The name of the band is the Uros Markovic Band. The band leader is the drummer, and he's from Yugoslavia. And he works with several other guys, a bass, a sax, and sometimes they bring in a pianist. They are a marvelous group. They're so wonderful that during the showcase on Saturday night, band members from another show that were in the same building left their show to hear this band.
They were that good.
Yes.
Wow.
And everybody's like, where's their CD? Where's their CD? So we got to get them in the studio soon. Also, what we do is we showcase poets, Christ-centered poetry. We're going to be bringing in fine artists, comics, writers, people that write essays and commentary on different world events and things of interest. We're also going to be focusing on the end of our show. We focus on Christian entrepreneurs that are up and coming, and we actually have some very bright, wonderful young people that have just been inspired by the Lord to start businesses just a few months ago and are just going bananas. I mean, with business and opportunities and sales. And so it's just an encouragement, and that's one of the things we really want to focus on is the arts and creativity, but just whatever it is in your life that's on your heart. If it's a gift that God gave you, we want to encourage you to do it. If you've never done it before, pick up a pencil and start drawing. If you've never done a play,
Do something.
Do something, you know.
Those are the words of Bernice Boom Boom Brooks. Do something, she always says.
Exactly. I mean, I feel that if you have a desire in your heart and you're born again and it's not contrary to the Word of God, then you need to get up and do it. You know, if you have one talent, then you better use that one talent. If you had 10 talents, you better use every 10 talents that you have. You know, it's when I think about it, I think about the talent parable in the Bible where Jesus says, you know, well, I gave one guy 10 talents, I gave one guy 5, I gave one guy 2, and I gave one guy 1. The guy that had 5 talents, he went and he made 10 talents. The guy that I gave 2 talents, he went and made 4 talents. And then the guy that I gave 1 talent, he went and buried his talent and didn't bring me any return. So when the guy came back with only 1 talent and said, here, I got the 1 talent still, the Lord was like, no, this is actually sinful for you not to have prospered in what I gave you to work with. He said, oh no, but I only had one and I wanted to preserve it. No. So that's what I want to encourage people to do.
Christine, you also have another talent, and that has to do with food.
Yes.
You're also a caterer. Tell us, what's your experience with that?
Well, I have to say my experience started at home.
Okay.
At 10 years old, my grandmother taught me how to cook for the family. And I was the family cook while my mother finished art school. And my grandmother raised us. So that's where it all started. As I became a teenager and in my young 20s, when we started to have big family functions and parties and family reunions, I became the party planner, the caterer extraordinaire. People just love my food and just loved, I've heard that people, when they eat the food, they can taste the love in it. And I don't know what it is. It's just,
well, what kind of food? What kind of food do you make?
I love to cook all types of food. Okay. I started off, of course, with mostly soul food and down-home American traditional food. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I've gotten into more international foods, Italian, gourmet Italian, French, just a lot of European stuff, making everything from scratch. It was a time when people loved my food and I didn't make it all from scratch. I had a box mixed in there. But at about 3 or 4 years ago, I started making everything from scratch, and I realized how easy it was. I mean, people think that it's a bigger deal to pop something in a microwave when you can make a wonderful gourmet meal fresh from scratch in 20 minutes.
Okay.
So
give us a quick recipe.
A quick recipe. Fresh Italian, regular red sauce pasta. Extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
Diced.
Very healthy for you, by the way.
Very healthy. Diced garlic.
Okay.
Diced tomatoes.
Okay.
Seasonings, oregano. I always use kosher salt. Fresh ground pepper, if you can. It's the best. And whatever Italian seasonings you like. You throw it in.
Throw it all in the pan.
What you do is you heat the garlic. You heat the oil. Okay. You throw in the garlic. Once the garlic starts to get a little bit cooked, you don't want it to burn. If the oil starts smoking, throw it out.
Good. Throw it. Start again.
Then before it starts to smoke, you throw in the tomatoes. And so the tomato ices the oil, so you don't have to worry. You turn the flame down and you put in your seasons, and then you cover the top, and in like 10 minutes, you have fresh sauce. No more.
How many tomatoes?
It depends on how many you're cooking for. Anywhere from
4 people.
4 people, I would say about 7, 8 tomatoes.
Okay.
To make sure, some people like a lot of sauce, And then you throw in your pasta noodles in boiling water with a little salt or a little olive oil, and always al dente, never mushy.
Yeah.
Never mushy.
Dente means that it's a little hard.
Just a little bit.
You don't want that soft, mushy stuff. Okay.
And you get you some fresh Parmesan cheese and grate it, and you got the best meal of your life.
This sounds so delicious. However, I want to get back to the talent. Okay, now, how would a talented person get in touch with you?
Well, we have a hotline, if you like to call it that. It's 212-560-4373. They can also email me at info@thesaltpeople.com. So it's INFO @ the salt people, as in kosher salt people.
Okay. Now, let's say, for example, a person has a talent. Would they have to go through a screening? Would they have to audition? I mean, listen, I was in the industry for a while, and people would come up to me and tell me that they would want to sing for me. And I needed some singers. And I said, okay, come on. And I would let them go on the stage, and I had to call it the no talent show. So
I'm with you on that. I know what you're talking about.
Well, you meaning that they couldn't sing?
They couldn't sing.
You had to tell them that they couldn't sing?
No, I just said I'd like to introduce the no talent show. Okay, but how do you audition? I mean,
well, basically, the way I've actually been finding my talent is sort of incognito. What I do is I go to one of their shows.
Okay.
And I see if I like them, and then if I like them, I approach them.
Okay.
And
poets and everybody.
Actually, poets, what I have them do is send me some of their work, and I get familiar with their work, or I go to their website and I read their work, And then I try to get to know them to see where they are with the Lord and what are they really, what's their motive behind what they're doing. You know, some people are saved and they're in the arts, but they really just want to be seen, you know. And the groups that I'm looking for, the talent that I'm looking for people that are extremely talented. You know, but I'm looking for people that are extremely talented, but Jesus is way up here and they're way back here. And the gospel jazz band that we used at the last showcase on the 17th, that's why I picked them. I didn't pick them because they were a great jazz band. I didn't even like jazz before I saw them. But because of the way they shared their love for the Lord and the way they put Jesus so far ahead of what they were doing, it blew me away. When I first saw them...
Was it incorporated in their show? Like when they were doing their show, the one that you snuck in to see what they were doing?
I didn't sneak in, I was invited.
Did they incorporate it into their show?
Yeah, they got up at the mic and gave testimonies and talked about different things and how if anybody was there that didn't know the Lord, or, you know, to open their hearts and just to hear the message of salvation and love, because that's all it is. I mean, people are intimidated. They think they're going to have to wear a long dress. They can't do this, they can't do that. Yeah, there are some restrictions, but the blessings and the benefits far outweigh it. But, you know, it's the type of thing that you can only experience if you open your heart to it. You know, I can tell you my experience, and that's all I can do. I can't tell you what your experience is going to be like. You know, so it's the type of thing that if you hear the word of faith and you believe it and you receive it, then you're going to have that special experience with Christ. It's not a religion even. I mean, people think it's a religion, and the funny thing about it is that the label Christian it's a label. It was a label that was given by people in the area of Jerusalem and the Middle East at the time that Christ was crucified. It was not a name that they came up with for themselves. They were actually named that. Oh, those are the Christians now. So, and that's fine. I accept the label because I love Christ. And if I have to be called a Christian or whatever, then hey, because that's my man. You know, he's first. So, but what it's really about also, it's about a personal relationship. It's not about particular religious traditions. It's about a personal relationship with God through his son, Jesus. And that's the main thing people don't really understand. They think, oh, it's about going to church, it's about doing this, it's about doing that. No, it's about that relationship. And that's a very different thing about having a relationship with Christ, with God through Christ, than any other thing that I've seen out there. I was actually born in a Muslim family. I was involved in astrology and chart reading and things like that. I was looking to be filled, and the only thing that filled me was Christ. So that's what I want to share with other people. It's not, I'm not coming from a background where I was raised was raised in a church for a period of my life, but I've been exposed to a lot of other things too. I've experienced life very fully, and a lot of things that I was involved in, I didn't need to do to find God. You know, I didn't need to go to do all the things that I did to find out that Jesus was the one. And basically what drew me back to him was the fact that I went through so many different things. I did so many different things, and I said, you know what? I've tried this and I've tried that. Why don't I try Jesus? Why don't I try Jesus? And when I tried them, I said, this what Mama and Grandma was talking about. Hey, they had something. I should have came back 10 years ago. That's what I was thinking. Oh Lord, why didn't I come back 10 years ago? But hey, I did it when I did it, so I'm just thankful.
Now you had your first show, and where do you see it going from here? When's the next one?
The next one, projected date is October the 12th.
And where will it be?
We are hoping to have it on a beautiful location on Park Avenue and 20th, but it's not solidified yet, so I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I want to wait until we sign on the dotted line.
Well, this is the end. Christine Pettway, you were excellent.
Thank you.
Very passionate, enthusiastic about what you're doing, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay, you've been watching Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winstead.
And I'm Jim Hill.
And remember, pursue that talent.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yes.